Oh, control your mind, control your life. Think Different Theory, baby. That's what we do. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Think Different Theory. My name is Josh Forti. We've got a good episode here today. We're going to be going over the seven books that I believe every entrepreneur should read. I got my coffee here this morning. Which, funny side note on that, guys. I used to drink Starbucks 7 days a week. 7 days a week, I would go and I would get a venti white mocha, hot, of course, with an extra pump of mocha in there, 7 days a week. And then after the new year, we had to cut it down. And so I get coffee 2 days a week. Sometimes there's a cheat day. Today is a cheat day. Yesterday was a long day, so I earned it. So this is my third cup. But trying to cut down on that because as much as I love coffee, all that sugar, actually, I don't like coffee. I like sugary, sweet coffee. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. Guys, we're going to dive in. These are the 7 books that I believe every entrepreneur should read. And I think it's worth noting a couple things. Number one, guys, like I'm not a reader, or I haven't been a reader for most of my life, I should say. I am more so now than ever before, but like I hated reading growing up. I absolutely hated it, right? When I graduated high school, so I was homeschooled, right? And so when I graduated high school, I had to do all this required reading for high school, and my mom made me read, all sorts of different, because since I was homeschooled, my mom was my teacher, right? So she made me read all sorts of different books, and I read books on religion, and different worldviews and everything like that, right? Very little fiction. Mostly it was nonfiction books that were like super deep and like philosophical and like stuff like that, right? So when I graduated from high school, I stood up in the back of my pickup truck. I make this public declaration, and I'm like, I will never read another book again, ever, for my whole life, except for the Bible. And so that was kind of my public declaration. That has failed, and thankfully so, because reading books now has fundamentally changed my life. In fact, one of the commitments that I've made in 2021 is to read more. And so I'm trying to read at least 2 books a month for the balance, or for the the entirety of 2021. So far, I'm ahead of schedule. I'm on my 3rd book this month already, and I will be finishing it up hopefully before the end of the month. I'm going to try to squeeze in a 4th one. But anyway, I want to read 26 books this year. And reading, since I have understood the power of reading, has really fundamentally changed my life. I really picked up reading about 2 years ago or so, when I went through a really bad a really big mindset battle. Actually, it was a little bit longer than 2 years ago. I actually picked up one of the books that we'll talk about here. It's one of my all-time favorite books that I think every entrepreneur should read. We'll talk about that here today. But starting to read has really allowed me to shortcut success. It has allowed me to get ahead when I wouldn't have been able to beforehand. And so I'm a huge fan of reading. I don't like reading so much, like the actual physical reading. And so oftentimes, almost exclusively, whenever I read, I get it on Audible and I get the physical book. And then I listen to it as I read it because it helps me read, because I'm actually a very slow reader. And so anyway, I want to go over the 7 books I believe every entrepreneur should read. And I think it's worth noting here, these are not my 7 favorite books. Okay, they are simply 7 books that I think every entrepreneur should read that help them be a better leader, be a better decision maker, understand themselves better, be a better marketer, better salesperson, like just understand people better. Like those are the type of books I'm talking about. Like if I were to say, if someone were to come to me and be like, Josh, like what are the 7 books that I should read? Like these would be the 7 books if you're going to be an entrepreneur. Now, these are not the 7 books if you would read for life. I mean, obviously, I'd start pulling in religious books there and whatnot. This is for entrepreneurship, for success, driven in business, having success there. These are some of my favorite top 7 favorite books that I think everybody should go through and do. So let's dive in. I'm going to go through all these. I'm going to make this hopefully relatively quickly. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I don't want to drag this out and make it like an hour and a half long podcast episode. Just when we can go through this here, okay? So let's dive in. 7 top books every entrepreneur should read. Let's go. Podcasters, if you're listening on audio right now, make sure to check it out on Facebook or on YouTube. Go over to Josh Forti and make sure to leave a rating and a review. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or whatever it is that you're listening. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, leave a comment down below. Hit the like button, hit the love button. I'd appreciate you. Make sure to subscribe if you're on YouTube. We're just trying to grow the channel, and we got some big stuff coming up. In like 1 or 2 episodes, we'll be announcing it, and then for the month of February, it's going to be like everything's going to change. Okay, so just be prepared. All right, here we go. Top 7 books. And now I'm going to say we're going to cheat for one of the books. We're not going to start with a cheater book, though. We're going to start with this first one here. All right, first book I think every entrepreneur should read. And I almost would say, and these aren't in specific order, but I would almost say this would be the first book I would recommend. Principles by Ray Dalio. Okay, Principles by Ray Dalio. This is New York Times bestseller. Bill Gates has endorsed it. Tony Robbins has endorsed it. Lots of Ariana Huffington. And yes, I know I disagree with them on a lot of their beliefs on certain things, but very well-known book. It's a deep read. All right, this is not a light read. So the premise of this book is decision making. Okay, and so it's actually broken into 3 parts. I think it's 3 parts. Is it 3? Yeah. Let me double check. It was a minute ago before I read this. Yeah. 3 parts. So part 1 is where I'm coming from, which is basically he goes through and gives context, gives his backstory so that you understand. And if you don't know who Ray Dalio is, he's a multi-billionaire investor. He started from absolutely nothing and grew up an investing firm that now manages, I think, tens of billions, maybe even hundreds of billions of dollars that they do investing for. And basically, the book is how he makes decisions. And it's in part 1, it's his backstory, but then in part 2, he goes into life principles, and in part 3, he goes into work principles. And so it's like literally this guide of how this billionaire makes decisions, the principles that he lives by, and it allows you to make much better decisions. It allows you to figure out how to eliminate errors. It allows you to go through and not so much, I mean, like, yes, how to think, but like more so like how to set up systems and algorithms and things in your life and in your business. And they're literally broken into 2 different categories. So you can make better decisions, so that you can eliminate risk, so that you can build so that your floor continues to rise. So that if you fall, you're only falling to a certain level, right? And so this is a very, very good book. And like I said, not a light read. It's like, I think it's like 500 pages. Holy cow, let's see. In conclusion, that is the conclusion. So it is 541 pages. Definitely recommend getting this one on Audible. Get the physical copy and on Audible. Well worth the read. Definitely one of the books that I want to reread in 2021. I read this last year, early last year, and it really changed my life and really changed my trajectory of like how I think about systems and decision making and algorithms and different things like that. And so just some of the endorsements here. Ray Dalio has provided me with invaluable guidance and insights that are now available to you in Principles. That's Bill Gates. Tony Robbins, I found it to be truly extraordinary. Every page is so full of so many principles of distinction and insights. I love how Ray incorporates his history and life in such an elegant way. Okay, like a must read. Seriously, like if you're a leader, if you're trying to grow a business, if you're trying to, understand how to build a company, build a team, build team culture, like this is the book. I mean, this guy manages now hundreds, I think thousands of employees. How to create a winning environment, how to create winning decisions, how to create a winning team, how to have radical accountability. Like all of it's in here. Like I would probably, if you're a serious entrepreneur, I'd probably start with this book. It's absolutely phenomenal, and I think everybody should read it. So that's number 1. Principles by Ray Dalio. Definitely recommend going and checking that book out. Okay, so book number 2. And so this book really covers our kind of falls into that category of both decision making and leadership, both. And it's there is a lot of tactical advice. This book isn't going to tell you how to find a better product. It's not going to tell you how to, make more sales. It's not going to tell you how to, charge more money for your services. Like this is going to teach you how to set up systems. It's going to teach you how to scale a business. It's going to teach you how to be a leader. It's going to teach you how to, really go through and grow the team to be able to get to that next level. Okay. Principles by Ray Dalio. That is book number 1. Book number 2. I'm going to go down to this book here. This book, next book right here, it's called Psycho-Cybernetics. I got to give you a little context around this book. This is my top 3 favorite books of all time for me in my life. So this is one that is a top favorite for me. Like this is up there, all-time books, not even just in business and entrepreneurship, Psycho-Cybernetics. So this book right here, let me give you a little backstory about how I came upon this book. So back in 2000 and... let's see, we're in 2021 now. So 2 years ago would have been 2020, 2019. So it would have been end of 2017. Yeah. End of 2017, beginning of 2018, I hit a pretty low point in my life where I was making a lot of money in as an entrepreneur, 30, 40, 50, sometimes even $60,000 months. I was miserable. I was depressed. I was overworked. I was working 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. Literally, from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed, I was on my phone. I was addicted to it. I couldn't turn it off. And I was a one-man show, and so I was miserable. And I was constantly trying to solve problems and put out fires. It was a bad time in my life. And so I went from that to reaching this breaking point where it all just came crashing down for me, right? I canceled all my clients. I refunded tens of thousands of dollars. I sat in my bed and I cried myself to sleep that night. It was like a week long of just laying in bed doing nothing. Very, very low point in my entrepreneurship journey. And so since that day, I kind of realized during that week of laying in bed trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life that, and I've told this story many times, like I remember sitting there thinking, if mindset is the answer, I need to go study mindset because clearly I don't have a good mindset, right? If Tony Robbins and Russell Brunson and everybody out there saying it, mindset's the answer, mindset's the answer, mindset's the answer, right? I thought I had a good mindset, right? I was making more money than any of my friends were. I was making more money than I was making more money in a month than most people making a year sometimes, right? In revenue, not take home profit, obviously, but like I was like, I do not have that mindset thing that I thought I did because here I am miserable, depressed, and I don't know how to become successful, right? And so I went on this journey. To studying the mind and studying how the mind works and the subconscious works and the stories that we tell ourselves and how our brain works and like the power of mindset. And along the way, this was the book that opened my eyes. This was the book that completely revolutionized my view of mindset, my understanding of how we work. And it's all about self-image, all right? So if you go psycho-cybernetics, it's updated and expanded, tap into the power of your subconscious mind, improve your self-image, learn to use your positive past, set and achieve worthwhile goals, develop compassion, self-respect, and forgiveness, cultivate the power of rational thinking, discover the key to a happier, more successful life. Okay, it sounds like a big promise. It delivers, okay? It really, really does. If you really go through and take this book and you actually believe in the principles that it's talking about, like, oh my word, this will completely revolutionize your mind. It is the thing. And he opens up, and the guy was a surgeon, and he would work on people's faces, right? And he would do like plastic surgery to like reform and reshape people's faces and make them look better, right? And so he said it was so fascinating how much the psychology would come in and how he would fix sometimes just like the littlest, smallest thing on somebody's face, and it would completely revolutionize and change their entire life. They would make more money, have better relationships, all because of their self-image, how they appeared to themselves. They became more confident, right? And how that played into their mind games, and that led him down this path of studying the mind. Just a phenomenal, phenomenal book. The number one mindset book of all time for me. And there's a lot of really good mindset books out there, and other people have, other ones that they like. Could not recommend this one enough. Like, this is, like I said, top 3 books of all time for me. Psycho-Cybernetics, make sure to get it. This one's also endorsed by Tony Robbins. Before the mind can work effectively, we must develop our perception of the outcomes we expect to reach. Maxwell Maltz calls this psycho-cybernetics. When the mind has a defined target, it can focus and direct and refocus and redirect until it reaches its intended goal. It is freaking phenomenal. All about the power of mindset, how your mind works, how to set goals, how to literally go achieve them, why you get stuck, why you're not able to move forward, the psychological games that go on in your mind. Read this book if you are an entrepreneur, Psycho-Cybernetics. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, honestly, this book is just absolutely phenomenal. I could not recommend it enough. So that falls purely into the mindset category. You're not learning about systems in here. You're not learning how to grow a business so much, but it's all about how your mind works and how you achieve your goals there. All right. Now we're going to get into a little bit more tactical information here, a little bit more tactical advice. I tried to go through and say, okay, listen, like here is the decision making and leadership and principles of success, systems, team building, culture. This is mindset, right? Actually, let's back up one more here before we dive into the more tactical side of things. These ones will lay your foundations. Now it's time to get, I got one more before we get into the tactical here. I actually do not have the physical copy of this book. I have it on Audible, and let me pull it up here. It is the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And it looks like that. Right there. It's by John C. Maxwell. He's one of the world's leading leadership experts, and a phenomenal book. In fact, because I don't have the physical copy of the book, I took tons and tons of notes. I listen to this one on the plane a lot when I fly, to and back and forth from clients or events or things like that. And so I would just take massive amounts of notes on my phone on it. He basically lays out the 21, irrefutable laws that every leader must have. And it's crazy because as entrepreneurs, as people that are success driven, as people, like me, us free thinkers, us entrepreneurs that are out there, like, we tend to think that our skill sets, our natural talents are the things that are going to make us successful. We tend to think that we're just going to be able to figure leadership out, or we're going to just be naturally good at leading a team. It's not the case. At least it has not been for me. And inside that book, John Maxwell goes through and lays out these 21 irrefutable laws. And it really starts to, I've actually read it twice. it starts to reshape your priorities, and it starts to make you really understand what it means to be a leader. Because like what the world wants us to think a leader is, what most people in the world and most of the media and social media hold up on a pedestal as a leader is not really a leader, right? I think there's a fundamental difference between leaders and influencers. Well, there is, right? Anybody can be an influencer. If you got a few thousand followers on Instagram, or an Instagram account with a few $1,000, you can blow it up. You can have 100,000 followers on Instagram. You can get 1 million subscribers on YouTube. You can get a couple 100,000 people on Facebook relatively easily, right? I mean, yeah, it takes some work, but like anybody can really do that. It takes a lot of mental work. It takes a lot of personal development work to actually be a leader. It takes a lot of radical accountability. It takes a lot of really diving in and like going in and looking at yourself, and being radically honest with yourself, and being the bigger person. And so John C. Maxwell lays that out, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, book number 3. Once again, not a tactical book of like a step-by-step how-to, here's how to make a bunch of money, but the irrefutable laws, the laws that like if you understand these core principles of leadership, you will become a better leader. And I cannot explain to you how much leadership, especially over the past quarter for me, like in the past 3-4 months, has really played into a role. I now manage, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that are directly, a team of 5 people directly underneath me that report to me, on 2 different teams. And so learning how to become a better leader, learning how to grow a team, learning how to get people to respect you, and also be able to bring your team up, to command more out of them. 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Can't recommend that book enough. It's a phenomenal book. Okay, let's go tactical. We got 3 books under our belts. We've got Principles by Ray Dalio, right? We've got Psycho-Cybernetics, which is my favorite mindset book of all time. So decision-making and systems, and like culture, team building, principles to live by in both in work and life. That's Principles by Ray Dalio. We got the mindset book, Psycho-Cybernetics, all about the power of self-image, the subconscious mind, how your brain works. That is Psycho-Cybernetics. We've got Leadership, which is John C. Maxwell. Can't recommend that book enough. Now let's go a little bit more tactical, okay? A little bit more tactical here. Let's go. When it comes to business, there's sales, there's marketing. Those are 2 different things. Marketing is more one-to-many. It's bringing people in. Sales is more one-to-one selling. And I'll be honest with you. I've made more money in sales in my life than I have in marketing. I love marketing. It's what I do. I'm the director of marketing over at Cashflow Tactics. I run Think Different Theory, and we do a lot of marketing there. And I'm very good at social media marketing. But a majority of the money that I've made in my life, that we've made with my clients, comes from using marketing to bring people in to get on a sales call and then closing them on sales. Now, there's a lot of phenomenal sales books out there. There absolutely are. I interviewed Chris Voss, author of Never Split the Difference. Phenomenal book. Definitely, top 10, probably even top 5 sales books of all time. But if I had to narrow it down to just one sales book, right? Just one book when it comes to really understanding what it is that you're trying to accomplish with sales, it's going to have to be Pitch Anything by Oren Klaff. And here's why, okay? A lot of sales books will give you tactical advice on like how to handle certain objections or do certain things. And like, while that is good, what you really need to do and understand is you need to understand the principles of persuasion, the principles of selling, what it is that you're trying to accomplish, how your prospects or your potential customer or client's mind is working, how their brain works when it comes to the sales process, what's going on, how they're making decisions. And what Oren Klaff does in this book, Pitch Anything, is he actually lays out that. And it's interesting because he does make it very tactical. There are a lot of really good instructions in here about how to make those things tactical, and he gives a lot of really good examples, but he lays out like the formulas, and like he lays out like what it is that you're trying to do, and like how a sales conversation, any sales conversation goes. And he lays out like, okay, there's like 3 parts of the brain. And he goes, so whenever you're doing a sales conversation, here's how information enters the brain. Here's how someone's processing it. Here's how to read where it is that they're at. Then he talks about like the different frames there are in selling. So like there's the moral frame, or there's the moral high ground, or there's the authority frame. And so he goes through and he basically explains how all those work and how they clash and how they interact. And so while it's very practical, it's also very strategical and very like, you understand the core principles of what it is that you're actually looking for in sales. And Oren Klaff, I think at the time of writing this book, he's done over $1 billion in sales. Advice, yeah, so here's some of the endorsements on the back of it. Advanced praise for the Pitch Anything formula. Fun, fast, immensely practical. Move over Neil Strauss and game theory. Pitch anything reveals the next big thing in social dynamics. Game for business. Yeah, he kind of makes it like a game. That's actually a good way to put it. What do supermodels and venture capitalists have in common? They hear hundreds of pitches every year. Pitch anything makes you get the nod or wink you deserve. Pitch anything offers a new method that will differentiate you from the rest of the pack. If you want to pitch a product, raise money, or close a deal, read Pitch Anything and put its principles to work. Pitch Anything opened my eyes to what I had been missing in my presentations and business interactions. I use Oren's unique strategies to sell deals, raise money, and handle tough situations. A counterintuitive method that works. Okay, those are all endorsements from high-level CEOs, senior vice presidents, investors, like high-level people, okay? Oren Klaff, just a phenomenal, I'm sure he's probably done way more than $1 billion now. At the time of this writing, which was all the way back in, let's see, what year? 2011? Yeah, I'm sure it's way more than that now. I'm sure it's probably closer to $2 billion in deals. But like, phenomenal book. Can't recommend this one enough. From a selling perspective, you want to get better at sales, understanding your customer, really knowing like how to, well, innovate a method for presenting, persuading, and winning the deal. This is your book. Tactical book, sales, must read for any entrepreneur out there trying to sell. All right, now we're gonna go to a cheat book right now. Okay, got 3 books left here. 1, 2, 3. I gotta go to this cheat book because here's the deal, guys. I could make this, I guess it'd be 9 books that every entrepreneur should read. But really, our next book here is 3 books. And I know there's 4 books in the trilogy or in this box set. But my good friend, Mr. Russell Brunson, and co-founder of ClickFunnels, which is $1 billion company. If you are a marketer, if you have an online business, if you have any business for that matter, and you are trying to market, sell, and scale, right? Like really trying to market your products well, scale your business, create a movement, fill your business with traffic, scale it to the moon. There is no better trilogy than these 3 books right here. I'm going to count them as one book. It's just a Secrets trilogy, okay? This is one book. And it goes like this. .com secrets, expert secrets, traffic secrets. In that order. These 3 books right here will teach you more about marketing than any college degree in the history of mankind. I would name your number 1 marketing college class, program, whatever it is. Take the best, highest marketers in the entire world. Go take me to Harvard Business School and teach me marketing. I will take these 3 books over any class, any program in the history of marketing. Russell Brunson is a phenomenal storyteller. He is a phenomenal marketer, and he's phenomenal at explaining things in a way that you need to understand. .com secrets. And let's just break this down into the 3, what each one of the 3 books does. .com secrets is the book that will teach you how to market. This is what teaches you how products are sold, what a funnel is, how to add upsells, like storytelling, everything that you need to be able to grow your business. It's the underground playbook for growing your company online with sales funnels. Okay. Like, I cannot recommend this book enough if you're trying to understand marketing, sales funnels, upsells, scaling, like all of it right here. This is the book. This is your playbook for how to grow an online business or any business in general for that matter. Okay. Must read. So that's part 1 of book number 5. Part 2 is Expert Secrets. Okay. So this is the second book in the trilogy. This is how to then turn your products that you are selling and the funnels that you've created, the business that you're created, how to turn that into a mass movement of people that will buy from you forever. How to have, the effect of a massive following of people that love you, that buy from you, and that it's an actual movement. Russell says, .com secrets is the framework. Expert secrets is the fire. It's the thing that's going to blow up your presence and turn you from a business into an actual movement, right? We all know that there's a lot of businesses out there that make a lot of money, and then there's businesses that have a movement, and that the ClickFunnels of the world, movement, the Nikes of the world, movement, the Apples of the world, movement, right? The Trumps of the world, the Jesus Christ of the world, right? Like those, I know those aren't businesses, but like those are movements. And this book literally lays out everything that you need. And Russell has done phenomenal studying about this. He's applied it. Obviously, he built ClickFunnels to $1 billion company in less than 5 years, following the principles here. So this is how you build your funnels, your frameworks, how to sell your products, how to actually get your business off the ground. This is how to turn it into a movement that will just fuel your your business and your passion for the rest of your life. Create a mass movement of die-hard fans. And then the part 3 of this trilogy is Traffic Secrets. This is how to fill your funnels, how to get your people to your movement, all right? Everything traffic related, paid ads, all the different types of traffic out there, earned traffic, paid for traffic, owned traffic, everything that you could possibly need to fill this funnel that you're going to be able to get people into your business, and then eventually turn them into a mass movement. Could not recommend this enough. He has it in a box set, and this box set comes with a workbook. So this is not a book that you read. This is an actual workbook that takes you through step by step these 3 books. All right. Every entrepreneur must read these books. This book right here, the .com Secrets book, is the book that made me my first $100,000 online. It is the thing that literally got me to my first 6 figures. Expert Secrets is the thing that helped me launch Think Different Theory. It's what pushed us over the $1 million mark total in sales for my companies and my business. Traffic Secrets is what we're applying right now. I've grown and managed over 6 million followers on social media. Many of the principles talked about right here in the Traffic Secrets. First 6 figures. First major movement in 7 figures, how to get massive amounts of traffic, 6 million followers, principles there, must read for every entrepreneur. And Russell's also a pretty good friend of mine. And I'm telling you what, it's well worth the read. All right, so that's book number 5. We've gone through Principles by Ray Dalio, decision-making, culture, systems, thinking. We've gone through Psycho-Cybernetics, mindset, power of self-image, subconscious mind, how you work, 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, how to become a better leader, how to lead your team, how to lead yourself, how to command respect. Now we're going tactical. We got Pitch Anything, sales book, best sales book of all time, I think, or one of the best must read marketing books. We're counting this as 1. It's really 3, but best marketing books of all time. We've got mindset, we've got sales, we've got systems and decision making, and we've got leadership. The next book is by Robert Cialdini, one of the best master persuaders of all time. It's called Influence, the psychology of persuasion. This book right here might be a better sales book than this book right here. Although while this is not a sales book, this is a book on persuasion and on influence. It's how you get somebody to make a decision, how you get someone to move, how we are wired, how we work. And in this book, he breaks down what everybody's after, how we make decisions, how to literally go through and influence people. This book applied and infused in the Russell's, .com Secrets, Expert Secrets, Traffic Secrets, inside of these other books. When you take the principles here and apply them alongside of this, it changes who you are as a person, because you can become very powerful, very influential, very, very quickly. Part of the reason that I have been able to be successful in the podcast, part of the reason I've been able to go through and be successful with Think Different Theory and with our clients is because I've read this book and I understand what it is that people are really after. In fact, it's on page it's still in the introduction. Literally, you can see I have stuff underlined right here. What are the principles of influence? And he goes through the way that everybody makes decisions, right? Consistency, reciprocity, social proof, authority, liking, scarcity, trust. And so it's once you understand those and then see them in action, you start to see how every decision is made by what is taught in this book. And then it becomes much easier to sell. It becomes much easier to market it. It becomes much easier to understand how people think. I could not recommend this book enough. Influence by Robert Cialdini. It's the psychology of persuasion. If you want to be able to persuade people, if you want to be able to influence over people, if you want to make a difference, if you want to get people to buy, if you want to get people to donate, if you want to get people to make a decision, this is the book. Could not recommend it enough as well. All right, where are we at on time? All right, we're going to make this right about under the 30-minute mark. And then the last book, guys, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I am still in the middle of reading it. I'm a little over halfway through right now, and I got this book recommended to me from Dave Woodward. Dave Woodward is now the CEO of ClickFunnels. He took over for Russell. Russell is no longer the CEO, but still, the co-founder of ClickFunnels. And Dave's a pretty good friend of mine. And I voxed him the other day, a couple weeks back, and I said, Dave, what are your top 5 favorite books? And actually, a couple of the ones that we talked about here, the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, that was on his top 5. So definitely recommend that one. But The Road Less Stupid by Keith Cunningham was one of his top 5. I'm halfway through this book, and I cannot explain to you how much sense this book makes. And from strictly a decision-making standpoint, it brings so much clarity and so much tactical advice on how to make good decisions. And the premise of this book is that we don't need to make more good decisions. We just need to make less bad ones. And he starts off the book by thinking, I want you to think back in your life. And what are the 3 biggest financial decisions that you've made that went, poorly? Or 3 biggest decisions in your life that if you could go back and redo would change the trajectory of your life or would make you more well off. Think of how big those 3 decisions are. Now, what if you made the right decision at that time? Now, he's not saying that you made a wrong decision, but like imagine if you would have made a better decision, if you would have, avoided some massive loss, or you would have capitalized on some massive opportunity, right? And so he talks about, how to make decisions from a very practical standpoint by thinking, and how to use your mind, how to think to avoid mistakes and to spot opportunities. And like, a lot of times you think, oh gosh, a book on how to think, that's, kind of woo-woo. No, very, very practical. And it's different. It goes along with this book by Ray Dalio, the Principles book, but like, it's different in the sense of like, Ray Dalio kind of lays out this like whole entire playbook for life and like how he makes decisions and builds systems and culture and like everything like that. And it's like this whole algorithm, this whole thing. And like, I love Principles by Ray Dalio, right? It's a very detailed book. But this book, it's very practical, and it's very, avoiding the dumb mistakes that sabotage growth, profits, and business success. That about sums it up. I couldn't recommend this one enough. It's a much easier read than Principles are, and I think that any entrepreneur that would sit down and read this book would very quickly start to understand and realize just how valuable the information in here is. And even just in the past week that I've been reading, and like I said, I'm over halfway through now, like I've already started to apply the principles that are in this book to like help me reshape my mind and to help me make better decisions. And I've already noticed the effects of it. And so couldn't recommend this one enough. Very practical, very tactical from a decision-making standpoint. These are the top 7 books that I believe that every entrepreneur should go through and read. Let's just recap them here. Let's see if I can stand them all up. Can we get creative here? If you're listening on audio, sorry, you're missing out on all the fun. Okay, ready? Book number 1, Principles. Book number 1, Principles by Ray Dalio. Systems, culture, decision-making, algorithms, leadership. This is the book. Highly recommend it. Book number 2, Psycho-Cybernetics, a mindset book. Everything about mind, subconscious mind, self-image, how to set targets and actually hit them. This is my top 3 favorite books of all time, an absolute must read. 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Like I said, I don't have the physical copy, but here it is by John C. Maxwell, one of the best leadership books of all time. The core principles that we must focus on and master if we want to become a good leader. Now we go tactical. One of the best sales books of all time. Pitch Anything. Once again, I'm a practical person, right? If I read a book, I want to be able to take action steps away from it. I want to be able to see real results. This sales book gives you the psychology behind sales and how sales actually work, not just in one specific situation, but makes it very practical. One of my favorite sales books of all time. Traffic Secrets, .com Secrets, Expert Secrets. Single greatest marketing books of all time, better than any college degree in the history of mankind. These are the books. Russell Brunson, thank you so much for these. Get this, you can get the box set. We'll link it down below. I think you can get each of these books individually for free in like soft copy or soft cover. Okay, these are the hard copy version. You can get the workbook and all 3 of these hard copy books in this nice box set for $100. Best $100 you'll spend. It's way cheaper than a $100,000 marketing degree, and it's better. Next book, Influence, How to Influence People, The Principles of Influence. Once again, it's just like a must read. Like, I don't know how anybody gets through life without reading some of these books and like going through and understanding how we work. Like, it's just, it makes such a difference. And really understanding how we work, how we persuade people, why people make buying decisions. It'll help you in sales, it'll help you in marketing, it'll help you in negotiating, it'll help you in life. Just better understanding yourself, if nothing less, but also all of your customers. Phenomenal book. And then lastly, The Road Less Stupid by Keith Cunningham, recommended by Dave Woodward. Could not recommend this one enough. And I'm only halfway through it. It's already blown my mind and been absolutely amazing. So definitely check it out. These are all business books for sure. A couple of them I would say, Psycho-Cybernetics is the least business book about this, but it's still one that every entrepreneur should read. Influence is probably the next least business book, but still very business related. And then the rest of these are all very much for business and success and business finances and in life. So there you have it. The top 7 books I believe every entrepreneur and free thinker should read. Check them out. I've got many, many more books. If you ever are looking for book recommendations, I would be happy to send you some. Hit me up on Instagram at Josh Forti, JoshForti, and we will definitely make sure to hook you up. So if you have any, if you're ever looking for book recommendations. Also, as crazy as this sounds, I'm going to wrap up with this. Guys, we do have some big stuff coming. And as crazy as this sounds, like Facebook and big tech and things like that, they are censoring people. And, I'm pretty vocal. I'm pretty outspoken about what I believe. I have had posts deleted before. In the chance that I do get shut down, I'd love to still have you over on our email list. And so that way we can still communicate. I can still communicate with you, send you the new podcast episodes that come out, book recommendations, products, kind of just let you know what's going on with the free thinker world. Would love to have you on the email list. Go to thinkdifferenttheory.com/playbook. And what I've done is I prepared a free mind shift playbook for you. And it's literally how to rewire your brain. It goes a lot along this book, a lot along this book, a lot of Joe Dispenza. It's a very, very practical 5-step playbook for literally how to rewire your brain for success. Highly recommend checking it out. I wrote it myself, 5 sections. You read a section, and then at the end, there's a little video explaining the homework, and then I literally give you like a cheat sheet homework, like actual worksheets for you to go complete to make it very, very practical for literally the step-by-step process of how I rewired my brain and how I really shifted my mindset into success and made success my default. It's called the Mind Shift Playbook by Josh Forti. Go to thinkdifferenttheory.com/playbook. And that's thinkdifferenttheory.com/playbook. Get it 100% completely for free, and by downloading it, you'll be added to our email list, and that way you'll get all the updates on the podcast. And we'll be able to connect in case, in the off chance that we do get shut down by social media. Guys, I love you. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any book recommendations for me, please feel free to shoot them over. Like I said, I'm going to read at least 26 books this year. I'd love it to be closer to 50, but at least 26 of them. And reading has changed my life. I'm not a good reader. I'm not a fast reader. Get yourself, if you're like me, get yourself a good set of AirPods, get these books on Audible, and start reading these books. They'll absolutely change the trajectory of your life, and I'm excited to hear back. So feel free to comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this video. If you like these book recommendations, if you've ever read any of these books, what are your favorite books? What did you think about these books? And if you have any other questions or comments, make sure to hit me up on Instagram at Josh Forti. That's JOSH. F as in Frank, ORTI, just my first name and my last name on there, and I will see you over there. Go to thinkdifferenttheory.com/playbook. And guys, I will see you on the next episode. As always, hustle, hustle. God bless. Do not be afraid to think different, because those of us that think different are literally going to be the ones that change the world. I love you all, and I will see you free thinkers on the next episode. Take it easy, fam. Peace.